Hello and welcome to Gag of the Millennial.
A show where we talk about pop culture, current events.
And spill the hot Darjeeling right into your lap.
Ooh, Scoldy Woldy.
Down.
Hello, Luxeria.
What's
Yeah,
Oh,
she's full of semen.
dead. Ooh, off to a strong start,
Yeah.
girls.
Hi everyone.
About semen.
Talking about today's topic.
sponsor.
Today's sponsor.
Yeah, can you imagine?
But yes, hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of our podcast, Gag of the Millennial.
Hello.
So, one of our first ever topics we did speak about back 2 years ago when we started making these podcasts.
bloody 2
It's
years?
been disgusting, isn't it?
It is.
It was before the
Oh.
Miss Rona. So one of our first ever
Sachet away.
one of our first ever episodes was extreme body modification, piercing taboos, and talking about body modifications that we have had in our own journeys. Now, we wanted to do like a follow-up to that because you guys have been really asking us to, and we're going to talk about some more extreme modifications. However, in this one, we want to go onto a topic of when modification goes a little bit too far. What is the limit? Where is the limit? And like, what should we be allowed to do and what shouldn't we be allowed to do? And should we even say what people should be allowed to do?
Yeah.
Because like both of us have both experienced people telling us not to do to ourselves what we have already done.
Yeah. I think that this is quite a nuanced conversation.
Yeah.
And what we're saying today is by no means the definitive
Yeah,
answer. This is like a discussion. So
discussion, yes.
If you have any opinions on what we say, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Please don't be like, oh my God, go to prison, you're evil, heinous women. That's not pleasant.
I mean, I would. I'm actually going to go to prison right now. It's my new kink.
Oh.
We want to start with an interesting individual that we both found on Instagram.
Yes, because
Now-
this came up on my explore page.
It
and
was
I was
explore,
like,
just explore
I
to me.
cannot believe that this was real. I was
Yeah.
a bit like, oh, what a lovely cosplay.
What-
How wrong I was. Go,
Yeah.
how wrong we were.
So this Instagram, so basically for people who are listening on SoundCloud, we're going to do our best to kind of describe exactly. If you're watching the video, I will put some photos up. But of course, if you are listening, we're going to do our best to kind of describe exactly
Yes.
what this person has done to themselves.
Yes, so first of all, what exactly is their name? I know that on Instagram they go by the Black Alien Project.
Yes, the Black Alien Project.
I must say it's quite descriptive about what they're doing. Like, they really are doing what it says in their name.
So it's a man called Anthony, and they're 32. We didn't really know exactly where they're from. We think there was like conflicting information. There some said France, and then some said Spain. So we're not really too sure. This person, I do think I might have had him in a piercing reaction a little while ago.
Oh, really?
I think he was in a video like a year ago. I don't remember exactly, but I swear that was how I originally found this person.
Oh, because of the nose.
Because of the nose.
I think that's when I first saw that person.
I think yes.
And
I
then
think
they came
so
up
too.
on my explore page on Instagram, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's the person,
That
girl.
is the person.
Yes.
So, first of all, before we get started
Yeah.
on this actual person, no ill will to this person. You can do whatever the hell you want. I believe you should be able to do whatever the hell you want to yourself. We'll sort of list off some of the things that he's got to himself.
That's probably a good
and
place
we'll
to
just
start.
So I'm going to try and describe it as much as we can. Obviously, for visual people, you can see the photos. So, first of all, he's got his entire. Well, I assume his entire. We don't know exactly. I haven't seen him without any clothes on, but
Doesn't have an OnlyFans.
So he's obviously tattooed his entire body black. It kind of looks like a blue blackish.
Yeah, but also it's not like a solid tattoo. It's like I saw something written on one of the pictures that was like wolf style tattoo.
Wolf style?
As in like wolf fur.
Oh,
I think it's tattooed
okay.
to be like a fur sort of. It almost looks like scratches.
Scratches,
like loads
yeah.
of
It
black
looks like
scratches from head to
Yeah.
toe, and
And
we
the-
mean like shaved head to toe.
But again, like that's just your preference. Like it's not really something I want to do. But just tattooing people, like tattooing your entire body, isn't really like an extreme.
No.
Like I mean, at least in the body model world, I know certain most people outside they might look
They'd
at
be
that
like,
and be
"Oh,
like,
Karen's
"Oh my
dead.
god, why have
She
you
saw
done that to
someone
yourself?"
tattooed."
Yeah, but like actually in the body model world, just having loads of tattoos over your
Yeah.
body, like it's actually not a big deal.
A
like,
full body tattoo is not like a shocking thing to
Yeah,
me. I'm not
exactly.
like, oh my god, can you imagine,
yeah.
girls?
So like it might not be to our taste, but like. I literally don't give a shit in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. Like you
Yeah.
do, you live your love, sis.
Yeah.
And he's also got lots of silicone implants all over his head.
Yeah.
I don't know where else in other parts of his body, but he has like his eyebrow ones. He has one like
He has like silicone implants like on his eyelids, like big bulbous, almost
Yeah.
bulbous.
Yeah.
Recently, we literally looked at a video this morning where he was like wiggling them, and that was really, it made me kind of go like, oh,
yeah.
dear.
Well, it was interesting,
But like still silicone implants, although they're extreme,
again, it's very like
it's common.
yeah. All they basically do is they cut open a tiny bit of the skin, put like the implant in, and then sew it back up.
And that's it.
Yeah, and it kind of just sits under the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, silicone does have like a life span.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think you can keep them in about how long? What, 10 years?
So yeah, there's actually debate around it because your body can form something called scar tissue around implants because it is a foreign body
Yeah.
inside the body. In fact, actually now, even in sort of like the more usual body modification world of like boob job scale, the swan.
The swan.
There is actually links now of something called breast implant illness, which can lead to a specific rare form of lymphoma, which is a type of cancer, around breast implants, specifically textured implants.
Yeah.
So there is now more evidence to suggest that maybe implants even aren't that safe, even though we thought that they were. So there's still like a huge question mark around that.
Going on to the slightly more extreme side, which isn't too bad. He's got his tongue split.
Yeah.
But again, like I love tongue splits. I think they look so cool. Again, I know it's for a lot of people it's kind of extreme. I don't consider tongue splits to be that far gone in like the world of like I mean, again, this is all personal preference. Everyone has their own limits of what is the normal. But like for me, at least tongue splitting isn't like.
To me, it's very similar to ear pointing. It's like quite like it's rare.
It's intense, but
intense, but I don't think it's like mutilation because it is classed as an extreme modification because it's actually illegal in the UK.
We can't. It is illegal to do it.
It's classed as an extreme modification. I know that you do have to go through some amount of like teaching yourself how to speak again afterwards.
Yes.
So I guess in a way that is like anything you get done to you that requires you to retrain your entire body to like have a thing that you already had. I do feel like is a little bit on the extreme side.
I don't think doing that is like, oh, you're so unhinged, you're so crazy, girl.
Yeah,
like, I don't think that, to me, that's just my personal opinion. I know people will disagree.
This person has it tattooed green, which adds another layer of like...
Tattooing your tongue green, I mean, live your life, girl. So the next thing, they've had both of their ears removed.
Completely removed.
Completely removed. It's not like it's like a bit like a conch taken out, or like because I've got a tiny bit of my conch taken out, but like it's fully removed. They have no ears whatsoever. It's just a canal. I would never do this. I would never do it. I don't know the actual massive effects of not having your ears. I get that your hearing will be affected.
Yeah, it will be.
Because your ears do act as like almost like a satellite that sort of attracts the sound and it goes.
We hear things that happen in front of us.
Yes, exactly. So I know that his directional maybe hearing would be slightly affected by that. I still think you could probably tell if something is coming from behind your front, but maybe not as much because it's not technically damaging your eardrum. Things can still get in your ears with ears.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like it's, I mean, I guess from the back you might.
So for example, I can't imagine this person ever being able to have a bath.
Because how would
this like modification, well, whatever we're calling it, modification, plus the others, I can't imagine them ever being able to just be like, I'm just gonna have a nice bath. A spa day.
The reason we say that as well is because the next modification we talk about is he's had his nose removed. Yeah. So the best way I can describe this to people...
rhinectomy, go.
Rhinectomy, go. So the best way I can describe this to people who are listening and not visually seeing it, it's basically like when you look at someone's face, the nose is gone and there's just like two like almost like oval-ish shape holes in his face with a line in the middle where like it's basically just cartilage.
That would be the septum. You know like the bendy bit on the end of your nose? Yeah. It's just all of that is gone.
It's completely gone and it's just like two big holes with like this line in the middle.
And they're very fleshy looking as well.
It looks gooey, it looks fleshy, and this is where I start to have my limits pushed. I don't understand how that is a positive thing to anyone's life.
No, it's not. That's the tea.
I can't imagine not having a nose and thinking that it's like comfortable. Not even just like Luxeria said about not being able to have a bath because like there's how you got to hold your nose to underwater. You can't. And you can't like put nose plugs in because there's just
you don't have a nose.
There's nothing there anymore. And like, can you smell anymore? Like,
well, this is exactly what I was going to move on to.
Where's the smell receptor?
You have something called olfactory nerves, which are, I don't know how deep they start in the nose, but it's like wherever you have like furry tingly bits in your nose, everybody's got them. That's where like your body starts to protect itself from like outside dust particles, wind, water, all these sort of things. And then that's also where you start to pick up like senses like taste and smell. Will his taste be affected because he now doesn't have a nose? Yeah, I don't know. Like, because how deep do those roots go? Because we when I said about the ears, about how like it doesn't really affect the eardrum
the canal
itself.
Is, like, because it's still there and like it's still open. But with your nose being so exposed like that, like, does the inside of it dry out? Because mustn't it? I didn't even think about that. Like, does it really dry out and then like feel horrible? Because I know like when you've had a cold, it's like you're blowing your nose so much and it's quite sore because like you don't have anything there anymore. It's like, well, like do you just kind of like leak mucus? Like I'm just trying to find it. I'm trying to understand what would happen without having your nose. And like, were you more susceptible to getting like illnesses?
To be honest, I honestly think you have to be. Imagine if you were like hoovering and just the dust was like, "Puh," and you were like, like you can't do anything. You've got a gaping orifice. The Dyson's exploded. It's gone fully in your canals.
And the thing is as well, I think because like it looks, when you get like a piercing or modification, it's healed. It looks almost like they've been there the whole time.
Yeah.
But like with his nose coming off, it constantly looks like it's just been like hacked away.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how that can be comfortable anyway. There's a video that we saw of him and he was like in the shower, and he was like showering, and he looks like he's in agony.
Yeah, it literally looks like he's like really struggling with the water like on his face. He's like almost like
he's just trying to wash his face in the shower, and
it looks like he's about to drown.
Yeah, and I just don't understand how like not having a nose can be a comfortable life.
It can't be.
Because I always think as well is like, I'm pretty sure no licensed surgeon will be just doing this to someone.
You could never.
Like I know that like there are definitely different laws from like where you are compared like to, because like again, like even tongue splitting is illegal here, but I know in some places it's not. But like when it comes to things like removing your nose for anything other than things like if you had like a cancer or something, you need to
that's
be like,
the only time a rhinectomy is practiced.
I don't know why a licensed person would be like, yeah, I will do this for you because because this is going to be detrimental to your health.
Yeah, because eventually, if something happens to you, for example, you get, I don't know, a really bad lung infection or something, and you have to be intubed in hospital, and they have to go in through your nose, but your nose is like already just wide open.
Yeah,
there's got to be problems with it. It can't be a happy, like, fulfilling life.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the thing is, when you see videos of this guy, he's not just like going about his daily life. Like the way he moves and the way he like just tries to do normal things, it literally looks like he's in so much pain.
It looks like it's painful, but it doesn't end there. So the next modification is he's had like half of his lips removed. Now this, again, the best way I can describe this, people do like visually watching. So originally it started off with his Cupid's bow, like the pit underneath the septum. He like kind of had it basically all removed, or almost like it looks a little bit like when people were born up with cleft palates, when you have that sort of like missing part in the middle. I don't mean that being insensitive. That's just what it looks like.
It's a condition, yeah.
And then he took a bit more off on this bottom lip to like to the left of it, so it looks like almost like a lightning bolt, ever so slightly shaped. And then he had more on the top left taken out, so like he basically one half of his like top lip is completely gone, so his teeth are completely exposed,
fully
24/7.
Yeah,
and like more on his bottom, and then he's had his teeth filed down to be like spikes. Now,
can we just have a second just to listen to just everybody take in what Roly's just said?
Yeah.
This person's had their lips removed.
Half of his lips removed, so his mouth is constantly open.
And then had the teeth filed down. So not only in like 5 to 6, 7, 8 years is he going to lose his teeth, because like even people that get lip lifts, like trans people that get lip lifts and their teeth are fully exposed, their teeth start to crack and disintegrate because of the exposure to air, because your teeth need to be moist.
To me, this was almost more shocking than the nose thing, because I've seen people in the past, like that man who wants to make himself look like the Red Skull demon from...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have seen people remove their nose before, so although it's still shocking to me, I've never seen anyone remove their lips.
Yeah, never.
And
never.
I don't know if he wants to remove more of his lips at all, because there's a point I want to make after this, but like, his mouth is now like fully open on one side, and he can never close his mouth. I don't
understand how he can visit someone unless he's doing it to himself, which I don't think he is.
No, I don't think he's doing. I think he's going to like a dodgy surgeon.
I really think he's going to like dodgy people who just think that they can do this. But like, if you're going to a dodgy route, you don't have access to licensed anestheticians. Yeah. So even if they are getting anesthetic, they don't know where it comes from. They don't know how potent it is. They don't know how much they need for body weight. Yeah. Unless they're like a dodgy anesthetist, and who wants to get seen by a dodgy anesthetist? Yeah. Absolutely not. And then not only that, they won't be seen in like a real surgeon's practice. Yeah. So sterile aseptic technique is not going to be followed. Yeah. So like, how safe is what this person's doing to themselves?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
like this is...
I look at this person and I know this sounds awfully bleak, but I do feel like we are watching you slowly end your own life.
Yeah, it does feel a bit
feels
like that. And like, we can't obviously diagnose people, would never do that, but like, I do think this person is suffering with some kind of body dysmorphia or something.
I actually wanted to say that this really reminds me of, so on YouTube a couple of years ago, there was like a really mysterious channel about like an old guy who was just smoking.
Oh, the smoking man.
Do you remember the smoking man? And he started like relatively normal. All he did was go on YouTube, make a video of him uploading like smoking cigarettes. And everyone in the comments was like, oh, I love it when you smoke cigarettes. Yes, get that cancer.
Put it in the
I love it, love it, love
weird
it.
cancer fetish
And
where they were like, literally, it's weird.
It became a movement because of this one guy.
Yeah.
And then we had young people just like smoking constantly in these videos, giving themselves health problems,
but
and then
the thing is,
disappearing.
That man, the original man who was doing this, he died of cancer, and he like one of his very last videos, he looked like a skeleton,
literally.
And he had like a tube coming out of his neck, and he was like trying to speak, and he was like still smoking, and the comment section was like, I love how cancer's ruined your body. I love how
I love to see it. I love to watch it.
And it was this weird fetishness. And I do think that this could possibly tie into that because it doesn't end there.
It doesn't.
So underneath every single photo that this person posts, there's like a percentage and it says body transformation, 29%.
Yeah.
So his current transformation that he's done is now considered 29%. What the fuck is 100?
Literally. So this is less than a third of what their idea of being the complete Black Alien project is.
Yes. And so there are a couple more things that this person wants to get done to themselves. One of them is he wants to...
I just want to interject there before you say this because I feel like this will lead into it. So this person is also like a fitness person.
Yeah.
They also, they spend a lot of time in the gym. They clearly want to like have a nice body because, I don't know, they want to like attract another alien mate or something. They clearly want to like, in a strange, bizarre way, look after themselves so they look aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Would you like to now say what you're about to say?
So I don't know exactly precisely which way he wants to do it, but he wants to only have 3 fingers on each hand.
How can you do the gym?
There's been 2 different variations of what I've seen if he wants to do, where it's like he basically removes his middle finger on each hand, and then it's almost like, looks like, I don't know.
So you know the aliens from Halo?
Yeah.
They literally have like 3, like a claw.
So he wants almost like he's got only 3 fingers on each hand.
It looks very much like the ring finger and the little finger
has been taken off.
Been taken off, and you only have the 3, you know, like your thumb, your forefinger, and your middle finger.
And this one actually looks like a modification he really wants to get done because he's done like videos where he's like sort of like taped up his fingers on each side and been like, oh, this is it. And we've been on someone else's Instagram researching this video, and he'd liked photos of like other people who've had like their middle fingers taken out.
Actually done it.
Yeah, and it looks creepy.
It is.
Like it looks scary seeing it.
So this is mutilation, in my opinion. To actually take perfectly functional hands and to mutilate them in a way that now you can't actually function as a human being anymore.
Yeah, like that is severely detrimental to your well-being. And the thing is, so the other day he posted, so this is something I don't actually know, but he posted a photo of bionic legs.
Yeah.
And it was the caption was saying about this is my transformation or like the next step or something. And it seems to be that he's gonna get his legs removed to put these like fake
to have bionic
metal legs on them.
People in the comments are like, please don't remove your legs, bro.
Like, please.
And he's just kind of like, I honestly feel like that's probably one of the next steps. If less than 30% is what he's at now, I feel like that's absolutely something that they are legitimately considering.
Yeah. I am all for like, you do whatever the hell you want that makes you happy. Like I'm someone who's and you know, there's some modifications here like tattooing your whole body and silicone implants and taking your ears off.
This person even have tattooed eyeballs. I don't consider tattooed eyeballs to be an extreme modification.
No, I mean, it carries a lot of risk, but like if you want to do it, fine. And there are many things that's again, the reason I want to point out, like there are these things that I actually don't mind. If you want to do it, you know, that I don't actually care. Like that's not what I consider bad things. It's because obviously I said how, you know, oh, it's okay because I want it, whatever. I do not want to remove my ears, but if you want to go do it, I literally have it. Do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
If you want to tattoo your whole body, if you want to put silicone implants in you want to tattoo your eyes, all this kind of stuff. I think it's cool. Like you live your life, girl.
I think people doing this to you are unethical and they're taking advantage of you.
I find it very hard to believe that removing your nose, your fingers, your lips, your legs is in the
pursuit of modification.
And this is my pursuit. I don't know this. I just, it's hard because I don't want to diagnose people, but I just feel like
it's a very nuanced conversation because there has to be something going on behind it. And I actually wrote something down in my notes about this because, I am actually quite conflicted about this because the whole body modification world was never made in board certified surgeons' offices. Tongue splitting was not made in board certified, it's always been an underground counterculture movement. It always has been, because it's, in a way, 20 years ago, getting anything other than your ears pierced was kind of considered mutilation. 20 years before that, almost unheard of in like the 80s to really have like, if you had a facial piercing, you'd made a choice. You know what I mean? Like, it was very extreme. And I can't even imagine that people really did it in the 60s. Moving on from the idea that like body modification has sort of like developed to this point now where someone could do this to themselves.
Yes.
I do feel like there is a huge question mark as well as to like, how have they been influenced for this to be their norm? Do you know what I mean? Like,
because this whole
we
thing
don't know what aliens look like.
Yeah, this is the thing that I find most puzzling, is like I'm transforming myself into an alien, but an alien has been concocted by Hollywood.
Yeah.
So
it's very like do you ever remember? I think there was a film called it was Signs.
Signs, yeah, I know Signs.
Is it Signs? Is that the one where like the child gets sucked into the air?
Sucked into.
So there's one that it's got Julianne Moore, one of the like horror films to do with aliens.
Yeah,
and it's so similar. This like our concept of like literally like almost like a jet black like hollowed out face with just the teeth showing and black eyes and like slightly like almost like the Greys shaped head. Yeah, it's very sort of that, but if toned up to 11 because it's horror. It's this concept of like, he must have seen all this stuff and been like, I want to look like that, rather than be like, I'm just going to be myself.
I don't understand how you could be like, well, I feel like this. This is how I want to. This is how I feel like I am. But the thing that you feel like you are isn't a real thing.
Yeah, it's not actually legit. It's never been witnessed.
But you're becoming something that was concocted by Hollywood. That isn't
that someone's put in your head.
Yeah,
that's how I feel like. Yeah.
And the problem is I'm sure he's a really lovely person.
This is the hateful thing.
I'm sure he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I just think like,
and sharing your experiences like this, and almost so this person has a large following. Yeah. They're not like 20,000 on Instagram, like little old Luxy.
It's almost like 600,000.
Yeah, so they've got and they're verified, so Instagram know who they are. Like, it's a serious thing, and there's a whole community of them that all seem to like go to this sort of really quite dramatic extreme.
What is it about removing their nose?
I don't know.
Because that other guy has it. I forgot what his name was now. Diego.
His name is Diabo Prado.
And he also has removed his, but he's kind of made himself look like an orc.
Yeah, but like literally like a Warhammer orc.
Yeah.
So it's one of these things again where it's like media influence has sort of like, it's almost like I don't know how interesting this is going to come across, but it's like furry but the next level. Yeah. It's not furry, I have a fursuit and I enjoy my adult lifestyle as a fursuiter. It's like, no, I'm actually going to be an alien now. Yeah. I'm going to actually, to the detriment of myself, my own health, and those around me, going to cut off my legs and get bionic legs, cut off my nose, cut off my lips, cut off my ears.
It makes me think of, because there is like a movement of people called transableists. No, trans. Is it
transableist?
I think it's transableist.
It might be transableist, actually.
There are people who are like
a woman who blinded herself.
Yeah, and I like people who like cut off limbs because I've always identified as a disabled person, and it's like.
Yeah, so
that's not okay at all.
So this really flashes back to the first one we made on the series, because I said, if you want to do that to yourself, go ahead and do that to yourself. Yeah. But I do want to stipulate, as long as you are not like damaging those around you as well. Like if you were imagine if you would like long life married to someone's recently got a new friend and they've been influenced somehow to think that now it's time for them to remove both of their arms, and you were like long-term married to this person. You do have to consider those that you are married to, and you do have to consider those that are in your family.
Yeah, and I just think when you actively make your life
harder,
like that's the thing for me. Like, yes, I get negative attention because of the way I've modified myself, but it doesn't make my life like harder. Yeah. And if I had to work in a normal job again, and I had to like, when I worked at Morrison's, I took my piercings out and then put them back in afterwards, and it's not, it's annoying, but unfortunately, you have to accept these like sort of slightly things at the moment. Like we will progress eventually, and like it won't be so much of a big deal. But when you do things to yourself, like remove limbs because you've decided you don't want your leg, or you're removing your hands because you suddenly want 3 fingers or something like that. To me, it's like
it's so complicated because like no legible surgeon in the entire world should you should enable you to go to them and say, I want you to take off both of my legs.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, for literally no reason.
Because as a surgeon, you have to sign an oath. You have to take an oath to be like, it's kind of like, do no harm, do no ill, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know the actual oath because I'm not a surgeon, surprisingly.
Yeah.
That's one, girls. But it's shocking to the point where it's just like, so if this person does want to go through with amputating their legs and having them replaced with like cyborg legs.
Well, the thing is, how
are they going to do this?
We
safely?
don't have the technology to make cyborg legs like work perfectly. Like when you think of sci-fi films, they've got like, you know, they'll replace their legs with things and all of a sudden they can jump really high and run really fast. Like we don't have the technology to actually do that. So
you can't become just Boston Dynamics.
So you'd put these legs on you, but you might be able to walk, but like very difficult with difficulty. It's not like you're going to be able to suddenly like run and jump as fast as you possibly can and do
and
all
because
like,
you're having it done in a place that's not technically going to be like a board registered surgeon.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get a complication,
who are you going to go to?
Who are you going to go to?
Yeah.
Who can you sue for like medical negligence?
Yeah.
You are going to be permanently injured.
I don't understand how he's going to weightlift if he has if he's only got 3 fingers.
3 fingers and also no human legs.
But also like not even just having 3. It's not like you're just taking off 3 fingers. Like you're going to edit the shape of your hand as well. So how are you going to grip? It's not like it's not like they'll just remove these fingers and your hand's going to be like
better.
Like
fine.
the space between here is suddenly going to become
your other fingers aren't going to become muscly claw
yeah,
fingers.
like I don't know how you would then weightlift while doing, but then also having all the other stuff you've got as well, which already makes it more difficult for you. Like I don't.
It's a really nuanced conversation because clearly when we talk about these things, we're talking about this person actively going out and doing this to themselves. We're not talking about people that have different abilities or differently abled or disabled. You haven't chosen to do that. And how would you feel as someone from that community if someone was telling you, oh, I really like the fact that you don't have a leg. I'm going to get mine removed.
That I think that's what is the biggest problem. Like someone who has been in an accident or had like a disease or had like an illness or something that means you've had to lose a part of your body or something. Like, does someone come up and be like, I've decided I don't want my arm anymore, so I'm just gonna get rid of it? Or I've decided
do you have any tips?
Or like, I'm gonna have my legs taken off. What's it like? Or I don't know. I would find that really offensive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would. I think, and it's almost like people that cosplay like mental health because they think it's like funny and quirky.
Like the amount of, do you know, there's nothing, I hate it when people say to themselves, well, say to people, like they'll sort a cupboard out and put things in an orderly manner. Oh, it's just my OCD. And it's like, OCD is a life, like crippling
illness.
Disorder.
It
like,
is.
to the stage where like people don't leave the house, they can't do anything, they can't keep relationships. Like you
It's
just
a compulsive
organize
disorder.
Yeah, like you organizing your fridge to having things in color order or whatever is not OCD. Like it's
that sort of thing. But if you imagine that cranked up to 100, and I can imagine that there are people out there that are just like gobsmacked that we're even talking about something like this. That this is, like, although this person has a following, I bet there are people that are watching this that have no idea who this person is, and I feel like it's not like our duty to talk about this, but they're technically in our modification community.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's almost a social responsibility to just sort of draw attention to these facts and be like, you are allowed to do whatever you want in this world.
I think this is the thing. I think you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want.
Make sure the decisions that you make are made in a stable sense of mind.
Yeah.
Because this person has gone through all of these things so fast. Like 2017, when they started this journey, it was only 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they have had so many extreme modifications. What if, let's just say, 5 years' time, they get, diagnosed with something that was like, let's say they're on a medication all of a sudden that was causing psychosis, and they didn't realize this, and they've gone through this whole process, and their doctors are like, oh, new information, this causes psychosis in people with this genetic predisposition. We're taking you off that med. And then they, for example, I know this is completely like a hypothetical situation, they come off that medication, go on something else, and then they have this wave of regret.
Yeah. I'm trying my hardest not to be too judgmental because, again, like, it's you live your life, girl. Like, you do whatever you want, and I have no qualms about the way you want to live your life.
It's completely okay for everyone in the audience as well to completely disagree with what we're saying.
Yeah.
There are people out there that are going to make the same equation with trans people. They're going to be like, what about SRS? Sexual reassignment surgery. You can't go back from that. It's like, yes, but this is a documented phenomenon that's happened for thousands of years. Becoming an alien has not.
Yeah. And the difference is like you...
Also,
being
people of the opposite sex exist.
Yeah, being transgender is not the same as this.
It's not the same.
Like the stuff that you have done to yourself. Well, I mean, the stuff that you haven't. But like this is for you to basically survive.
Yeah. This is to improve my life.
Yeah, this
to
is
make
because
my life more comfortable for me.
yeah, exactly. So I think anyone trying to make that comparison is just being incredibly like
Juvenile.
like ignorant and dismissive of actually what being transgender is compared to I'm gonna cut my legs off because I want bionic legs because I'm an alien. Okay, so not to bring it to this now, because I know this is a slightly different scenario, but a situation.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like the Eugenia Cooney situation
yes.
where people will almost like
Hate watch.
and it's this kind of like I'm kind of interested to watch you deteriorate in a way. It's that weird sort of like scary kind
It's
of
called morbid fascination.
yeah, and because people do watch Eugenia Cooney as like you see because you see in the comment section all the time in her videos. I'm just checking in to see if she's still alive. I'm checking I'm watching, and it's awful. It's horrific to see that because because clearly suffering from anorexia.
She's so unwell.
So
this poor girl.
So it's this kind of thing, but I think almost like equated to this guy. I think people are morbidly curious to see like what's the next insane thing he's going to do to himself.
When he posted
is he
that
going to
picture,
survive this?
yeah.
Is he going to when is he going to like go too far and have
They're literally waiting for the day that someone has access to his Instagram and posts, "I'm sorry, but the
Exactly.
Black Alien project has ended because he's passed away."
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are following, and that's why I'm like, it's a little bit. I'm not saying he's doing it for attention, but I think some of it is like it almost spurs you on to do more.
With places on the internet that are such cesspits of hate, 4chan, lolcow,
Yeah.
8chan,
Yeah.
even Reddit to some extent. All these places where people are so toxic and hideous, there will be pages dedicated to this person
Oh, of
being like,
course,
what we
of
have
course.
to do is message him every day and say, "We really love what you're doing. Do it more. Do it more." And they are goading him to do more to himself.
Yeah.
Because there are the same people that are doing it to Eugenia Cooney.
Yeah.
There are the same people that do it to other examples of this. For the Smoking Man is a great example of that.
I just personally don't see a happy ending to this story, unfortunately.
That's exactly it. I do not see suddenly being like, and he lived happily ever after.
Yeah, and I think someone is doing a disservice to him in his life, and I wish him nothing but happiness and love and support. And this isn't a let's bash this person.
No.
But I just think
how many
I
yes
just think there's
people
something
must
else
they be surrounded by?
Yeah,
all their friends must be like, "Yeah, do it. Yeah, that's a really good idea." Because if that person was my friend, you can 100%, I would never leave that person's side. I have lost so many important people in my life over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
If that was my best friend, I would never, they would be in my house every single day. They would be at my table. I would be deeply looking after them because something clearly is not right there. And they need someone in their life to be like, this is not right for you.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about this person as I do about people that are addicted to plastic surgery.
Yeah.
There is never a happy outcome.
Yeah.
We have lost so many absolute icons because of this. It's an obsession.
The obsession
it's
and
an
addiction.
obsession.
And addiction
it's
as well. Addiction, yeah.
Addiction to an extreme form of almost like self-preservation in a like they feel like this is the only way they can exist in this world.
Yeah. So you bring in plastic surgery there, and it kind of goes on to another topic that I wanted to talk about that I find very interesting.
Yeah.
Is both of us are pro plastic surgery.
Yes, absolutely,
I
hands
think
down.
if you have the money to do something and you want to change it because you're really unhappy and it's actually causing you distress and everything and this is something that you want to do to yourself and it's you're doing it around you're going around it in the safe manner.
Yeah.
You're not going to back alley sort of black surgery. What's it called?
Black market
surgery.
But, botched. Yeah.
As long as you're going about in the same way, and the same with modification, even with the same guy. As long as you're doing,
Don't go to butchers.
Yeah. You should be able to do what you want, especially if you think people like trans people who are changing,
exactly.
get FFS and all this kind of stuff. If you can do it and you can afford it and you're doing it safely, you do whatever the hell you want. We recently went and got
a little procedure.
Now, in the grand scheme of plastic surgery, it's
nothing.
literally if it was limited in here, this is literally nothing. This is loads. It's literally here.
Yeah.
So
it's 1 on the scale out of 100.
Yeah. So we got Botox in our forehead.
We did.
And also Juvederm filler in our smile lines.
Yes.
Now, I obviously have a channel here of modifications.
Yes.
And I've pierced myself loads. I've done lots of things like that.
Now, this is a really weird phenomenon that even I didn't expect to happen.
Yeah, so I kind of assumed that people wouldn't even really react that much. But okay, because I basically made a video just talking about my Botox and
experience.
Juvederm.
Yeah.
The response I got was so weird.
It was agog.
I was shocked with the amount of people who were like, I can't believe you do that to yourself. You're ruining your face. You
look plastic.
You look plastic. You can't. You don't look like yourself. One girl was like, I'm crying because you don't look like yourself anymore, which is crazy
Unhinged
because
behaviour.
I had already uploaded multiple videos and images of myself beforehand.
And that's the tea.
No one had any idea that I had it done. And until I said that I had these things done, all of a sudden it was...
I can't believe
it. And it was a real shock to me because, like, on the scale of the modifications I've done to myself, it's actually minuscule.
Very minuscule.
The fact
It's
that I had
not a
like
modification, it's anti-aging.
I had my like part of my conch removed. That is far more extreme than having some Juvederm in my smile lines to stop my crease on my face.
Yeah.
Yet for some strange reason, this was considered so extreme, so far that it was unreal. And it was like, I don't understand this strange connection with plastic surgery being so only unhinged people get.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. It was very weird.
Either. See, when you uploaded that, I thought it was great that you did that because not a huge amount of like, let's just say people of your size really are very open about the things that they've had done for anti-aging surgery. And I think in a way, like I loved watching your video about it because it was a great experience and you really liked it. And like, it's a thing that we're both going to upkeep eventually. Yeah. I was like, yes, do another video about it, do all sorts of things about it. And now I'm like, don't do it.
What was weird as well is I was like, a load of people saying you didn't need to do it. And I was like, but I also don't need to pierce my ears 28 times.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a weird thing, isn't it? This weird fine line. It's like the arbitrary lines that people decide of like, these are all small modifications.
Yeah.
This is in no way the same as what we were talking about previously.
And this is the thing is the stuff that I got done is it's not permanent. Like my forehead is pretty much almost back to normal now. I can move.
Oh no!
I can pretty much move my forehead the way that I did before.
I'm almost there.
And the thing is as well, it was like both the Botox that we got and the Botox was the thing that we had. It wasn't to fill in lines. It was to stop you from making more.
Yeah.
And so I didn't look any different because
you hadn't had filler.
Yeah, I didn't have filler in my forehead. My forehead looked identical to the way that it looked before. The only difference was I wasn't able to put my lines back in my head. I was still able to move my eyebrows and have expression, but I just couldn't fully lift it, which is like, I don't really do that on camera very often anyway. So the idea that it was like, I can't believe you do this to yourself, like you look so different. It was... But I actually don't look any different.
No.
Like, you can't tell. And yes, when I smile, my lines don't have such a massive indent here. But
your smile is not different. It's the same.
I don't understand this. I did take down the video because I was like, I can't be bothered with this. And I just found it very strange. And again, it was the whole thing of like, I had already uploaded multiple videos and pictures beforehand where no one had said a single thing. It makes me think of the whole, and it's a bit of a weird comparison, but it's the whole diamond thing where like,
diamond.
So many people, it's like a huge, if you watch the Explained episode on Netflix, it's really interesting about diamonds, where basically like people, like the scientists can like create diamonds that are like literally real diamonds. They've just been created in a lab, but for some strange reason, no one will buy them. People only want to buy the ones that are like in the soil because it's like, this is the real one. If you were given both, you have no idea that was the one that was made in the lab and that one was made that thing. But you hearing that information, all of a sudden it's like,
oh, that's
your
cheap.
opinions change.
Yeah.
And so no one had any idea that I did this to myself. And I decided, I'm just going to maybe talk about it. And as soon as people heard that I had this, it was like, you've gone too far. Like,
it's so weird. The idea that you've gone too far with a bit of Botox and a single piece of filler. Do you know how much filler I've had in my face? Do you know how much? I've had 2 mil here, I've had 2 mil in my lips, and I've had 1 mil in my cheek, 1 mil under my eye, and 1 mil at the end of my cheek. And then I've also had like 3 mils of Botox. I've had so much work done on my face, and people are... no problem at all. And I find it so weird. You get one syringe and everyone goes loony girls.
It was so straight. I don't understand it. And this weird double standard of like plastic surgery is horrific, but me, wearing contact lenses all the time, piercing myself. And so I've had maybe almost 40 piercings now over my life.
It's so strange.
And like people saying you don't need to get it done. I wish you didn't get it done. And it's like, but I don't need to have this many piercings. I don't need to wear contact lenses. But I like to do it and it makes me happy.
I remember actually being in the comments of that video and it was people that are usually a fan. Yeah. Usually like nothing but joyous things to say. Suddenly it turned quite viscerally hateful. And it was such an odd thing to witness because it's like, I don't think there's anything you could do that would make me go, I can't, I'm sobbing, girls, at my keyboard. Mind you, I'm constantly told that, like, I don't want you to change your face with facial feminization surgery. It's like, well, that will alleviate my dysphoria, make my life better. So
Yeah, don't tell a trans person to do like.
Don't get surgery. Yeah.
Don't get, because like this isn't about like I want to make.
It's not about you, sis. It's about me.
This is also like something that will
make my life better.
Yeah, because like obviously I'm not necessarily for Luxeria, but in the grand scheme of like trans people, telling a trans person they don't need to have surgery to like transition to whatever they want to be or whatever. It's like, this isn't like I'm doing it because I want to. This is like, this is going to save my life.
Yeah. It's a medical decision.
Yeah.
For me. I know it's not for everyone, but it is for me.
Yeah.
But also the thing that I don't get about this is that like you see so this is one of the magics of television is that like you are seeing a very specific angle of me covered in a very specific amount of makeup with a very specific amount of contouring to look a very specific way. If you were to see me from portrait, no makeup on, in the supermarket, a little bit like unkept, you would not automatically be like, that is a woman. Yeah. And that is where my dysphoria comes in, and that's what I want to change. I want to be able to wake up and just feel comfortable.
Yeah. What are some things that you want to do to yourself in the future?
I want to go on the Swan.
She wants to go on the Swan.
Can you imagine? No, so there are a few things I want in my future. I'm literally looking at implants like breast implants, but not breast implants as such, but breast surgery, so that I can like make my chest appear more how I would like it to look in a more feminine presenting way. So there is a procedure that I actually come across in the last couple of months, really. So from watching things like The Swan and Bridalplasty on my channel. The Swan Girls. The Swan Men. I have come to realize that like breast implant technology kind of can be a little bit iffy for some people because obviously of breast implant illness that can occur. So you can still get saline implants, and apparently saline implants are a little bit more safe because, you know, if you get a rupture or anything, it's just saline. Yeah. Like you're not rupturing silicone into your, like raw silicone into your body. Yeah. You're just rupturing saline so you can get it fixed. There is obviously an alternative now that's called fat grafting. Yeah. Which more commonly you would know this for like a BBL girl. Ooh. I'm going to get me BBL, Brazilian butt lift. But actually what they can do is they can liposuction an area of your body that you know is maybe like stubborn, that's not going away. Yeah. They can liquefy it and re-inject it into an area to plump that area up. You can also get it for permanent lip fillers. You can get it for like facial contouring underneath the eyes. You can also get it for breasts. And I didn't realize this. You might need like 2 or 3 sessions, so it is quite costly, let's be honest. But it's much, much, much safer than a breast implant because it literally is your own tissue just moved. It's literally like, so I don't know if anyone knows this, I've had a hair transplant. And my hair transplant is technically like, it's almost like an organ transplant, multiple of them, because you're taking your own follicles and just moving them. Basically that kind of idea. And that's something that that's like come into my mind now that I'm a little bit like, maybe that's something that like I could save up for and actually go for that would give me longevity in a safer way than just being like, look at my plastic boobies, girl. Then like something problematic could be happening with them. Because you do actually need silicone implants like redone every 10 years. We mentioned this earlier, but like, so they're a huge cost to constantly be having done in your life. And I'm just
I think so many people don't realize that when they get breast implants that they actually like 10 years time you have to have them like replaced.
Yeah, exactly. Because like your body generates scar tissue, we mentioned this slightly earlier, around them. And eventually sometimes you even have to have like scar removal. Like the breast pocket can become so tough and like cartilage, like scar cartilage on your ears, that kind of like toughness that you need to have it like totally removed and the implant replaced. Like that's quite an intense procedure to go under as well. Let's say you go under breast implants at 25. That's kind of young to get them. Let's just say 25. 35, you have to have them replaced. 45, you might need the scar tissue taken out and then also replaced. 55, you need it done again. Like this, it's a lifelong commitment.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
and like, it's a bit scary. And I think it's the same as
all these young influencers now getting like veneers on.
Scary.
And it's like, you do realize that you have to upkeep that for the rest of your life. Like, you don't put veneers on, they last until you die.
Any dentist that's literally just being like, oh, we'll just do your veneers. Like, it's not just we'll just do that.
Like 18-year-olds should not be like filing their teeth down and getting veneers put on. Like,
no,
I don't understand. Like,
it is unethical to be doing that.
Like you have a fresh mouth of teeth. Yeah. Like just, you can straighten them with braces or whatever if they're a bit wonky, or like you can whiten them up if you want to. But like to get like these veneers put on at 18, like you got now as long as you don't damage them as well, like they will last about 10 years.
Yeah.
And you get them replaced, and they are so expensive.
They are. They're literally so expensive. And if you get them done at 18 and you live to your 88.
Yeah, and you've got to get redone every time.
You've
and
got to
then
have them redone like 7 times.
and what happens, like, what you might be able to afford them right now. What happens is in the future something happens, and you got like then you can't afford to upkeep that, and now you're gonna have like just a nub in your mouth,
just like spiky nubs.
like a stub, because it's actually really scary how they file
Oh,
them down
it's
to like
awful, isn't it?
They look a bit like cat teeth.
Yeah.
At the end, it's like that kind of like
I thought you were
stub.
going to say cactuses.
Cactuses.
Like cactuses.
And yeah, if and again, you might accidentally knock one off when you like bite an apple or something. Like,
And then it's like, oh, I have to go to the dentist
and
now.
that'll cost me God knows how much money.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're in America, because like American health service is like horrifically expensive compared to the UK, but it's still expensive here.
Your own teeth are the best option first.
Yeah.
If you have to have veneers because, you know, something else has happened, obviously that's not a problem. We're not,
Yeah.
we're not saying don't do that,
Yeah.
girl. The next thing I kind of want to start investing in myself over the next couple of years is tattoos.
Yeah.
I really want my body
Somebody
to become-
burpy, I keep
You
burping.
are burpy woman on the
I'm a
game.
windy woman.
Unsubscribe.
Disgusting.
Disgusting, girls. Yes, it's tattoos. And
Yeah.
I am... So if you guys don't know, on you probably have seen my tattoo here on the... Oh, my arm looks very unflattering in that angle. There. So if you are on SoundCloud... I mean, I have
She
tattoos
has a
of
big
needles.
vagina
I
tattooed
do,
in her shoulder.
Yeah, it's my little hole.
Yeah. Lux's little hole.
Yeah, so I got this done when I was 19. I got it done. I finished designing it when I was in a graphics design exam. I had already gotten an A at this point, and I had half an hour spare, and I was like, just design my tattoo. And then a couple of months later, I went and got it to celebrate me like leaving college. And I still love it. I just want more added to it now.
Can I just add something that's really funny about your tattoo? That's
What?
I love that when we were, so me and Luxeria went to Slime Night recently, which is like a gothic
Oh,
cybergirl
yeah.
club. And like this one of your followers came over to you and was like, I recognized you because of your tattoo.
Yeah.
Not because of it, this is Luxeria.
Yeah, she's like a white-haired gothic lady.
Like, no, I recognize you because of the tattoo, which I think is funny.
Isn't it funny though? It's literally hypodermic needles in pink and blue going through my skin. And I must say, I've not really seen a tattoo like this before.
Yeah.
And I do get people say like, oh, that's very unique. How did you come
yeah,
up with
yeah.
that? And it's because I used to work at a body piercing studio, and like
Yeah.
body piercing was my life at one point. I
Yeah.
was so invested in it.
I just forget that you were so pierced.
Yeah, I've had everything on my body has been pierced.
Yeah. Even the eyeballs.
Even the webbing between my fingers has been
I went
pierced.
to go get my webbing done when I was about 18, and I was going to get my webbing, and my piercer was like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
like, what are you doing? You crazy. Like, I'm not doing that to you.
I had mine on my left hand, and it was done for about 3 weeks. It doesn't work.
It just ain't this.
doesn't
Like,
work.
there are
It
some
was pretty,
places
but
that
it
you
doesn't work.
shouldn't pierce.
Yeah, so tattoos are the next one. I want to get this added to. So my idea now, because I haven't really like gone to a tattooist and had like a design done.
Yeah.
One of my best friends who I grew up with in Brighton owns a tattoo studio now.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of the most prestigious tattoo studios in Brighton.
Oh, maybe I'll go to
Shout
them as
out to
well.
Angelic. Exactly. So this is my next stage in my life is
Yeah.
that I'm going to like consult with her about like what the best option is. I don't know what's better. I don't know whether it's better to commission an artist to do a piece for me. I want something that's got like dripping roses and like
Ooh.
a couple of really ancient runes for things like, this is going to sound a little bit like tribal chav. And I want things that are just
Tribal
I
chav.
want things that are just like inner strength and stuff like that. But I want the ancient runes that were like carved in like cave paintings and
In
things
blood.
like, in blood's ritual, girls, Satan. I want things that are from where my bloodline heritage comes from. So I'm looking for things that are based around Dresden in Germany, which is where my maternal family is from, and then also things in so my paternal family is Celtic, so they're all like based sort of like down near the Devonshire.
Oh, yeah.
So
So you're going to get a tractor on you.
yeah, tractor.
A tractor.
So I want things that really come from like my genetic heritage that will be included in this art piece on my arm, because I want to be able to look at my body and it gives me strength to carry on in my life.
Yeah.
I want to be reminded every time I look in the mirror of like, I'm that bitch, sis. I can do this. Do you know what I mean? You are twitching like mad.
I've had too much caffeine. I can feel it in my body. It's like...
your nose was like, I'm gonna take off,
I'm
girls.
really like, if you're going to watch this
Alive.
back and you're going to realize how much I'm like
You're just
moving and like fidgeting.
What's happening?
I've had too much caffeine. I would obviously, there's a few more modifications I would like. I want to get, there's a couple places in my ear I want to get pierced.
What's your next piercing?
I still don't know if I want to get my bridge done.
I
want it done so bad, but I'm also like, I cannot be asked with more surface piercings because they're just awful.
I mean, you literally just took your eyebrow out because you were like,
it's
in the way.
It
was for me.
You're a job's worth. I love bridge piercings so much. I might just keep sticking it on. I don't know. But I tattooing, I have to start soon because I'm 31 now.
Yeah.
I want to get it like relatively soon.
Yeah.
While my skin is still tight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do want to start tattooing soon. I mean, I spoke about it enough on my channel, but I want to get gaming stuff all over my body. And maybe some like horror movie villains and stuff.
Where would you start? Would you start with your arms?
Yeah, my arms.
Would you start with the bottom part or the top part?
Probably the top and then work my way down.
Yeah. Would you get a whole session done in one, or would you be like as much as possible, or?
See, this is my problem. I would like my whole arm covered in gaming memorabilia and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's trying to get someone to design the entire arm for you.
This is literally what I was just talking about.
And it's like, dude, that means it's going to take me ages. Or do I just start? Because like I've said I want to get it designed, but I've now waited 4 years because I haven't got it designed. I'm like, do I just get one things at a time? Because if I just get loads of game stuff all over my arm, I feel like it'd be kind of easy to kind of entwine it with each other at the end anyway, rather than like trying to design the whole thing.
This is a good question actually for those of us for those of you that watch us that are into tattooing. Is it better to commission a whole piece in one go and get it done as much as possible in one go, or is it better to work in sections?
Yeah, because it's
I'm
not
quite
like,
interested about that.
what I'm getting done isn't like like if it was one continuous thing, or like it was a massive skull that went down to fire, like, and it was made together, like I would understand
like
getting it all in one go. But because I want like individual characters, I think as long as you almost like color coordinate together, I guess, and like because I'd put like a galaxy behind it, like make it kind of fit the colors. I don't think it matters too much if you have individual things and work it together.
But also going on from that, is it better to commission the piece from an actual artist and then go to a tattooist who can do that, or is it best to just commission the tattooist straight away?
Yeah,
How long does that take?
I don't know really anything about the tattoo world, so I'll need help with that.
Like for example, do you want plastic surgery on anything? Like your breast lift?
So
a brow lift and a breast lift.
I've always wanted a nose job.
Yeah,
I hate my nose more than anything of my body. It's always caused me severe distress. I don't really talk about it, but I would love to get a nose job, but I'm just too scared.
Yeah.
In case I don't like it or something goes wrong. Because your nose is such a defining part of your face.
Yeah, it is.
I'm so terrified that something will be wrong with it. Or I then suddenly sound nasally. Or, part of my nose collapses because... these are real risks when it comes to nose jobs. And it's the one thing that I'm like, I would love a nose job, but I ultimately don't think I would get it done. Everyone should, I just think, just to finish on this topic.
Yeah.
Everyone should be able to have the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want to themselves.
Yes.
As long as they're not damaging other people or actively damaging their own life. And I think the freedoms that you should have should be that. Again, everyone has their own limits.
Exactly.
I know to a lot of people, even just stuff that I've done is so crazily extreme. Like just people on the street look at me as if like I'm literally a monster because I've pierced my ears this many times.
Septum rings was the one thing that everyone was like,
It's
too far. It's too far.
So I get that everyone, like a lot of people want to disagree with us, and even in this video, I think this kind of thing is definitely a own opinion thing. But I think you should be allowed to do whatever the hell you want yourself if you're doing it safely and it's not detrimental to your life in a way that's going to abstractly in a way that's going to negatively affect your health. Yeah, I think because when you say damage your life, like you could say the stuff that I've done is damage your life because I get then judgmental looks, but that's very different to amputating a limb to make your life harder because now you can't walk properly. Yeah. Like that's the difference. Like the modifications that you can do to yourself that people might judge you, that's completely different because that's not, that's their problem. That's society's problem. But like when you're cutting your nose off or cutting your ears off or like that kind of
fingers or legs.
Yeah, like there is limits for us. Like we're not damaging your life because of other people being judgmental. You're damaging your life because it's actually going to make your life harder to live.
Your quality. So I like to use the sort of like vague abstract phase of quality of life.
Please leave your comments down below.
Please.
I'd love to hear what you think
if you agree, if you disagree.
Yes.
Let us know.
Tell me your limits. Like tell me what
what's too far, girl.
What's too far? I'm sorry that I've been like.
Buzzing.
If I've been acting a bit weird in this video, I don't normally drink energy drinks, and
That's correct.
And all of us, I just had an energy drink, so I felt tired, and now I'm
It's
like,
probably because we haven't had lunch as well yet.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, go.
She's a hummingbird.
Well, at least it hasn't made me want to shit myself, because you know the caffeine sometimes makes.
Well, that's coffee, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but still
Coffee's
caffeine,
Like time for
isn't
an enema.
End time. This has been the Gag of the Millennial.
This has been.
Thank you, everyone who's listening,
Thank you.
watching. Thank you for all the support.
Don't
Make
forget
sure
to
you go-
like, share, and subscribe,
Yes,
girls.
and check out some of our other ones that you can
Yes.
see on the screen here. We've obviously been doing quite a few of these now. I think this is like
Yes.
number 13, so we've got lots to go back on.
Lucky number 13, go.
I obviously, when you go back to the beginning ones, the audio quality isn't amazing.
But you can still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for watching. Make
Thank
sure to
you,
like
guys.
button, subscribe, notification about all the good kind of stuff.
Sending big love. Make
big
sure
love.
you love your friends and family.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are not a yes person in their life and that you are a good example as you can be.
Yes.
And tell your friends they're beautiful. That's the tea, girls. The Darjeeling.
Bye.